All right, preparing, and we are live. Woohoo! I know, so
Hello.
excited, so excited to have my incredible, lovely friend Charity on today. I just got all the chills. I got all the good feelings, and so a little bit about how I know Charity. Charity and I went to high school together. Oh my gosh, it's been over 20 years.
People will know our age.
Don't tell anyone. So yes, I want to introduce you all to my amazing friend, Charity. Charity and I went our separate ways after high school and have recently reconnected. And it has been such a joy for me to reconnect with this most amazing woman. So I cannot wait to share her with you today. So Charity, welcome.
Yes. Hello. Okay, first off, thank you. That was very sweet. But I should be thanking you because honestly, you're amazing, girl. You're amazing. I watch you. You just shine light on everyone. It's awesome. So thank you.
Thank you. So Charity, to kick us off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're up to in the world, what you want us to know about you?
Okay. So I thought about this morning and I thought, okay, I don't want to be that girl that comes out and says, oh, well, I'm a mom and I work in IS and I'm married. And so I'm like, well, how do I say this is me? And I'm like, okay, well, I am all those things. I wear all those hats. But I think I'm just I'm a developing person. I feel like I'm ever developing. I feel like if you would have asked me that question 10 years ago, that's the answer I would have gave you. I would have said, I'm a mom, I have 5 boys. I love my family. I would have gave you that mom speech. But I think now I would tell you that I'm passionate. I love people. I love health and fitness and feeling good about myself. I love being a sounding board. So for me, I feel like who I am constantly is morphing. And what I do every day is that's what makes me who I am, really. So that's kind of a little bit about me. So
I love that you really sat and chewed on that question for a while and said is that really real? Are all the doing jobs that I have really real to who I feel I am? Or is there an aspect of being, my soul being, more authentic to how I want people to hear who I am? I love that.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a really good question. And I'm glad you challenged me.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. So tell us a little bit about sort of what you're doing in the world right now.
So, well, obviously, like I said, I work in IS. I'm working from home right now. I work for a healthcare organization. So I really, what I'm doing is kind of enjoying the work from home, enjoying the time at home with my family, and capturing every single moment that I can, because I know that it will be short-lived.
Right.
Unfortunately, I'm sure my time to go to the office is coming at some point. And I'm just focusing a lot on me. I think I've been doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of, giving myself a lot of grace to find who I want to be and kind of where I want to go. So I'm doing a lot of family stuff, but I'm also doing a lot of selfish stuff.
I'm going to challenge that statement. It's not selfish, girlfriend.
Yeah, true. I feel like you have to give yourself the opportunity to be selfish, though. I mean, it's really important to allow yourself to be selfish.
I think the truth is, in all of that, our generation of women, were raised by a generation that said, for a woman or a mother or a wife to do things for herself, to take care of herself, to find her passions and to live them out is
Mhm.
selfish. That she
Right.
can't have that and be the best wife and mother and nurturer that she's possible of being. And
Mhm.
so I think that our generation, the generation below us, this is what I'm seeing with some of the younger girls that I'm working with. They're like, that's not selfish. Like, I got to take
Hello?
care of me first. Like, y'all need to come in line. Like, I've got passions, I've got dreams, I've got a purpose, and then everything else is like icing on the cake. Whereas
Love it.
our generation is what the generation that's sort of moving them in that direction, right? Like, we're like, oh, wow, we don't have to do it all in the same day, and that's okay. I don't
Right.
have to be the perfect version for somebody else. I can be the perfect version for me, and that's more than good enough. It's that
Exactly.
self-acceptance piece. And so because
Yes.
we are the gap, right?
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. So true. So true. What word could we choose? What should we change it to? Because selfish is so negative and derogatory. But what would you say? I mean, got a good word for that?
I think that, I've had some time to kind of chew on this idea because I work with women of all ages. Like I have teenage high school girls that I work with, and I work with like I have a client in her 70s right now. And
Okay.
I also have a couple of men on my calendar that I'm working with
Love it.
as well. So this is something like everybody is sick and tired of hearing the self-love statement, the self-love identifier, because there's sort of this like very esoteric sort of connotation around self-love. There's like this, oh, it's out there, like you go to the spa and like it's this very upscale, but that's not self-love.
No.
No,
Right.
self-love really like, do I love myself and what actions are connected to how I love myself? Does it mean that I have to get my ass off the couch and go do something today?
If
Sometimes
you
it
want
is.
to.
Sometimes self-love is getting off your ass and doing your laundry. I mean, honestly, it's about not lying to yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then so
Absolutely.
I would say that I don't have the perfect word to replace selfish or to replace self-love, but I think that we're part of the movement of that evolution. Our generation of
Yeah.
women is part of the movement of that evolution in the world. And I have to say that I'm really excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know I've noticed a big shift. I mean, even in my circle of women, reading a lot more, books about what drives them and gives them passion and, just more time for themselves, not so much like, yeah, I'm a mom. And obviously if my kids are going to come first, they're going to come first because if they need to be coming first, then they'll be coming first. But
Right.
also in order for me to fulfill those roles and those responsibilities, I have to fill my cup. Like I have to be able to feel like I'm at a place where I'm going to be able to do that and I'm going to be able to do it to my best.
Yeah.
So, it's like taking those little opportunities to just do that and just not be selfish, but to give yourself that time is just,
I would
it's
say
important.
I will give you this word. I will give you this term, self-focused.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good word.
Self-focused, because you have to give out of the overflow. People think that it is selfish to give out of the overflow, but it's really not. The more your cup is overflowing, the more you can give, right?
Yeah,
And the more you give
absolutely.
from a place of joy. You think about people who are out there donating to charities, right? So if you
Mm,
think about you think about all these people out there that are in the churches and tithing, and they're donating to their organizations, and they're out there giving of their finances. Everybody has a different mentality around how they give out of their
mhm.
finances. But I think that we have gotten to the understanding that we still have to give, even if we have a smaller amount, we still give out of that. But I think
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a poverty mindset when it comes to our energy as well as our money, that it's not okay to give out of the overflow. Like, we should be giving no matter what, but that's not actually serving anyone to their greatest good,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
you think about, listen, I know what it's like to raise that many kids. I know how much the
Yeah.
cost of that many kids are. So, and I know about really
It's worth every penny, Steph.
I know, right? But I also know the challenge of raising very tall
Yes.
and skinny young men with very large feet, where you have to, like, okay, we're in the place where we're sort of custom buying pants now because they don't fit otherwise. Right?
Skinny.
Yes.
Just
Long
can
and
gain
skinny.
weight. How come
I
it's so easy
remember
for me, but it's not easy for you?
I remember when little boys' pants came out with the adjustable waist. And as a mom of skinny boys with no butts, I was like, what are we going to do when they're out of diapers? And then they came out with those adjustable waist pants. And I was like, woohoo, no belts.
True. The struggle is real, I'm telling you.
It is. But the truth is that when you're showing up for all of those people, when you're showing up to care for them emotionally and physically and financially, giving out of your overflow is so difficult, because if you don't have overflow, because you're raising 5 amazing young men, like, plus you're working, plus you've got all these other things that you're doing in the world, right? Like, you're showing up. So I think that, oftentimes we don't stop enough to say, how do I want to give? How do I want to give, and how do I want to give back? And where in my soul am I giving from? Am I giving out of obligation because somebody thought that I should, or somebody said that I should be doing this or that, or there's this assumption that I have? Or am I giving in this area in this way because this is what I'm passionate to do, I'm called to do?
Absolutely. I like that.
Yeah.
Love that.
And the passion and the calling really does show up in the overflow.
Yeah, it does,
The
doesn't it?
assumptions and the expectations show up in the lack. And that's where the poverty mindset comes from.
That's so good. So good. And I just want to show you.
Cheers, my darling.
Cheers. Mine is not actually coffee. It's I really like that hint water. It's like water, but it's got like a little hint, and it's not bad for you. Like, it doesn't have any like fake sugars or anything. And I like to warm it up.
Oh, I never thought about doing that, but the lemon one would be so good like that.
So good. So good. I like to warm it up. It's so good. It's like a warm, yeah, it's so good.
Love that. I love that. I know Weston really loves that. So every time we go to the store, he's the one who yells at the Echo Dot to put it on the shopping list. I'm like, we have some in the pantry, but those aren't the flavors that I like, Mom.
Oh, well, you know.
I get it. Mine is coffee, because I have this very lovely, I am spoiled. I live 20 minutes away from a coffee roaster who's probably makes the best coffee I've ever had in my entire life. And I have it roasted fresh for me every couple weeks. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's a little spoiled, but hey, if that fills your cup, Stephanie,
yes,
I'm good with that. That's awesome.
So I have my morning cup every morning, and I just sit on the couch and I savor it. And then my after lunch routine, this is how I replenish and kind of rejuvenate a little bit, is my afternoon cup of coffee, where I just let myself sit in my being and sip my coffee.
I love it. That's a really good way to rejuvenate your soul.
Yeah.
Just even 5 minutes of quiet time sometime is just really good for rejuvenating. Really good. Yeah. Yes. Love it.
Yes. So important to have those. If you don't have those moments built in, especially as a mom, a mom who's working another job, you have so much going on. And it's like last night, Weston and I had a moment where I was just like, I have been repeating to him for the last couple months the same one thing. I've asked you to do this. You haven't been doing it. You keep, whatever, asking for forgiveness and all that other stuff, but I don't see any change. And I'm getting tired. Like my soul is weary from dealing with this issue. And it was one of those moments where it was like, we had to have that honest conversation. And he needed to know that I felt tired from battling that issue with him all this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to, after I said what I said, I had to get up and go, there's not a single room in my house my children don't follow me to. And I'm not like a bathroom, like they just walk in.
Yep. Hey, I'm with you.
Yep. Hey, mom.
Hey, I was going to the bathroom in peace.
Man, I was just about to get naked and get in the shower. I don't know about you, but geez. But I just had to, like, I have to go on a walk because they follow me everywhere. And bless my husband's soul, he does the same thing. Like he really doesn't like to let things sit, but he just like follows me everywhere. And so I have to like leave. Like I have to physically leave.
And turn around and say, don't follow me.
Yes. Stop. I need to collect my thoughts.
Oh, love it.
So, yeah. But we do, don't we? We all have like those moments.
Do. Yes.
Right?
We do.
Like,
we do.
Pushing the reset button is so important.
Yep. So important.
Yep.
So important.
So what are some of your go-to ways to push your reset button?
Actually, I like to run. I like to do some running. It really clears my brain. And if I'm not feeling like running, because obviously I can't run every day. I mean, I people do, but I'm old and my knees get sore. So I'll switch to something else like walking or some days, to be honest with you, some days after work, if it's just been a day, just not even after work, if it's just been a day, I'll make up my favorite drink, coffee, I don't know, something to drink. And I'll just sit on the couch for 30 minutes and watch a show and just completely check out of everything that's responsibility wise around me and just zone in on a good show. So it just depends on the day and the mood that I'm in, what I need to rejuvenate. But yeah, I like the walking, the running, just check it out. I like you get followed around the house, not by my husband. He doesn't really follow me, but my kids, especially the younger, the three younger ones. The 19-year-old, he's kind of moved on, but
well, I'm jealous because my almost 19-year-old has not moved on from that. He's still
no.
House.
I promise you someday, maybe not. Maybe your kids will always follow you.
My kids are the kids who were like, Mom, you didn't answer the phone. Like I get excessive text messages. How come you're not answering the phone? Why didn't you answer the phone? Because I was with a client or I didn't feel like it or whatever. Yeah. And they were like, what do you mean? You just like, we tried to call you. Yeah. Like they did cut the umbilical cord when you were born. You know that, right?
Oh, that's good.
I love that they love me that much. Like they love being around me and they love me that much. Like that's such a blessing. I'm not going to be upset about that. But I do have to sort of put them in their place sometimes.
Yeah, at some point you got to just like, okay, this is my boundaries today. Please respect them.
Yeah. I mean, when you have one kid living on the other side of the world and he still is like that, you're just like I get text messages at 5:30 in the morning. Are you awake enough to talk yet?
I am now.
Yes. I love it. I do love it. I make fun of
Oh,
it,
that's
but I do
awesome.
love it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Same, same. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who I'd be if I didn't have mama's boys. I like to call them mama's boys. I don't want that to be a negative
Yes. Yep, I
naming,
get it.
but I just don't know I don't know who I'd be without that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. There's something about it, right? There's something
There
really
is.
precious and sweet and special. And I will say, like, I had when Apple first came out with their watches, I had saved up and bought myself a Series 1 watch. And I was so excited because I was pretty much running every day, training for a new race and doing all of
Yeah.
these things. And I was so excited to have this watch. And so right around, it was probably a good month or so before Mother's Day. My watch I'd had this watch all these years. And so my watch wasn't really charging, was glitching, wasn't really working properly. If I tracked a workout, the battery would die like within an hour.
Oh no.
So I was just like, gosh, I really do want the new one, but it's not a financial priority right now. So my boys, so sweet, went out and went in together and bought me the new watch for Mother's Day
Aw,
because they knew how much I wanted it. And that was just like, and they picked it out. They got all the colors right. It's so sweet. They're so
it's
sweet.
cute. I love it.
It's
That
cute.
is sweet. See, it's those little things.
It really is. Like they knew how much I like use it and how valuable it is to me. And they understood the importance, like, and they are that way. And I think, I will say that I, as a mom of boys, I really appreciate their nurturing natures.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
all of
awesome.
my kids have that. All of my kids are very nurturing.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. What about your boy? What about your boys?
So, they're I don't want to say they're not nurturing. They like to be, I'll just be honest. My husband's a little stubborn. I mean, it is who he is. I don't think he'll ever change. I mean, he's been that way for 20 some years since I've been with him. So, I mean, I'm not going to try to change him now. But that's kind of rubbed off on my kids. So they're really good about being super sweet and kind when something isn't going right. Like if I'm having a bad day, they can totally feel my vibe, and
Yeah,
then they're, but they do get a little bullheaded. So they're kind of like in between. They're like really big hearts,
yeah,
but also really kind of stubborn a little. So really kind of balanced out. I guess they got a lot of me and they got a lot of Link. So
yeah.
they're kind of evened out like that.
I can relate. My boys definitely have that machismo, like stubborn, bullheaded attitude mentality sometimes, but also, yeah, yep, I can totally get that. But they're
Yeah.
very, very thoughtful young men.
Yes. Yes. Like when my kids are out in public with other people, they're really good. They're really pleases and thank yous. Maybe not so much the 5-year-old. I think he's still working on that, but and then maybe even the 14-year-old some days has struggles, but the other ones, I mean, they're pretty dedicated to being kind when they're out in public, which makes me feel good. I mean,
Right?
obviously we all know that when your kids come home, unfortunately that's your dumping ground,
Yeah,
so sometimes you do get you get that side of them, and that's okay because that means that you can love them unconditionally, and that's why they can dump on you at home. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
They know
um
you're not going to leave them.
yes, yes. So but when they're out at people's houses and out in public, I can honestly say that that Link and I have raised, you know young men, nice young men, and I think they'll do really great when they move into the world. So
I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I know. I was just talking with Josh about that last night about our boys and just like how amazing our young men have grown and who they are in their lives and in their worlds today. And just like working at living into their full potential. It's just the coolest
Yeah,
thing to watch. Like,
it is.
really is. It's
It
such a
is. I love
blessing.
it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. So awesome.
So, what with all of that, with all the mommy of boys and all the stuff that you've got going on everywhere, what does, like, how do you envision what living a radiant life means to you?
Really good question. So I would definitely say that living a radiant life for me is capturing those blessings, like every blessing, small, little ones, big, giant, huge ones, and just breathing them in and finding the joy
Mhm.
in them. I, I just feel like surrounding yourself with that mindset of finding those blessings and finding those little things that bring you joy, it really allows you to remove toxicity. Like
Mm.
it allows you to remove that toxicity out of your life. And it really allows you to truly be who you want to be deep down. I just feel um like, because those little blessings and those little like moments of like, wow, this is my life, these are the things that I get to enjoy every day, it really does. And I know I said fill your cup already once, but it really does fill your cup. It really just gives you that life that that you want. And it allows you to, the more I do that, the more I'm able to focus on all the positive things that happen in my life versus having that half empty mentality and always looking for, woe
Yep.
is me, this was wrong. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Now my day is bad.
Right.
It allows you to flip that when you focus on those little and big, little and big
Right.
things that just bless you every day. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of where for me it means to live a radiant life is just finding those things and yeah, putting your focus on those.
It sounds like to me that living a gratitude practice is
Yeah,
really crucial to you.
it is. I feel like we have to be grateful. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things to be grateful for in life, like so much, so
Yeah.
much.
Like this incredible view.
Yes, like your incredible view and my bedroom view. I mean,
I
I'm grateful that I have a
let me
bedroom.
just say that whenever you like do something new to your house and you post it on social, I'm just like, that is so cute. I just love your design. It's adorable.
I get a little help from my sister-in-law. She's really good at like decorating, and I will like send her messages like, "Hey, how does this look? Does this match?" So I got to give her some credit.
I love it. So I will tell you that this tree behind me, right? It's a broadleaf maple.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
pretty.
here in Washington State, you don't see very many of these unless you have really great water, right? And you don't see them on this side of the state. On the eastern side of Washington State is very desertous and it's very dry, but you'll
Okay.
see more of this stuff on the western side because it's more humid and near the ocean. So I, growing up in Minnesota, love my big leafy trees. And most of the trees that we have around here are pines, tamaracks, firs, and all the different evergreens. They don't provide a lot of shade and they get
No.
enormously big. And we have forest fires here, so we have to keep our yard clear of that stuff. But man, Charity, let me tell you, when I moved here, I missed my leafy trees so much. I was like, we need a damn leafy tree somehow, some way. So when we redid our yard and we did all of our landscaping and we put in a sprinkler system so that I could
Ooh,
plant this bad boy here. So it was a
yeah.
tiny, tiny little seedling that we planted. And look at it now. Isn't it beautiful?
It is really pretty. And honestly, it kind of blocks off your in-laws' windows a little bit so you can have some privacy. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, a little
Well,
bit. I mean, just a little bit.
it's
And then
pretty.
every year it gets a little bit bigger. So it gives us a little
Yeah.
bit more privacy.
Yeah. Is it not is it shorter than not as big and
No, it's
tall?
very
Okay.
tall. It's
Okay.
very tall.
Okay.
Can't really see how big it is,
You
but
can't really see the height. I think it's because you're awning there, but it's
yeah.
pretty. It's definitely a green leafy tree.
Yes. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I like it.
I think that that's one of the things, you have to, we all have things in our past, right? That like we would rather just walk away from and forget entirely,
Yes,
right? And
absolutely.
my childhood in Minnesota wasn't grand. It was very difficult. And there was so much about it that I really just, when I first moved here, I just was like, leave it all behind, forget it all. I don't even care. And little by little, as I've gotten older and I've gotten more comfortable in appreciating and having gratitude for the good stuff,
Yes,
I'm able to say
love
these
that.
are the things that I've appreciated and I would like to keep with me.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. That's
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. We like to let go. You're not, your past is not who you are.
No,
You
it's
know what
not.
I mean? It's
It's
not.
not.
It's
Does not
not.
define you. And,
No.
oftentimes, it's because we are not comfortable in the uncomfortable, right? We
Correct.
just aren't as
Right.
humans. But the more we practice being comfortable in the uncomfortable, the easier it is to say, you know what, that was a good part. I want to take that with me. I want to
Right.
appreciate that thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We grow outside our comfort zone. So,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, run with it.
Nothing of greatness ever happens inside the comfort zone, does it?
That's right. No, it does not.
So where are some areas in your life where you were like, this, I absolutely had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to, and this is what I learned when I did.
Ooh, wow. That's a tough question. Well, so 3 years ago, I wasn't as obnoxious as I am today.
Own
I
that
mean, I've
word.
always been
Own
a
it.
little obnoxious, but I haven't always been an extrovert. Like I was kind of shy. My husband actually was telling a story the other day that when he first met me, that we were out playing pool one night, and I was the girl sitting in the corner not talking, and he was just socializing with everybody. And the person that he was telling the story was a coworker, and he said, "Your wife, like Charity, that's how she was when you met her?" And he's like, "Yeah, she didn't really say much. She was just kind of." And they didn't envision that. So I think that I grew outside my comfort zone by just making myself be more outgoing, and being not afraid to show who I am and just be who I am on social media, in real life. Everybody's not perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. We're all who we are. And I feel like I grew in my outside my comfort zone by just doing that and knowing that that was okay, and not being and getting past that fear of doing that and being that person. Just because, you know, I'm me, and if you don't like me, that's fine. If I'm not your cup of tea, that's totally cool. And I think it took me a long time in life to realize that that's okay. So it took me, getting past that comfort zone part to realize that that's okay. So
Would you say that coming up on 40 was like a bit of an eye opener for you?
I would definitely say that. I wasn't afraid of 40, but I think I hit 40 and I was like, okay, so I think I hit like 36, 37. Like, okay, I'm coming up on 40 here. Like, look at your life. What are you feeling? What did you like? What did you hate? That's where
Yeah.
I started really getting past that, like self self focus, getting to that self focus where I thought, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to let go of toxic people.
Yeah.
I let go of some toxic people, and those toxic people happen to be family members, and that's okay. That's okay. Blood doesn't make it great always, like it doesn't always matter. So I let go of some toxic people, and I started just really focusing, and then yeah, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be 40, and no, not everyone's gonna like me, and I don't have to like everyone either, like,
It's so true.
and it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay that I don't like everybody.
Yes, it is, and it's okay to be me. And I don't know, I'm a lover. I like most everybody, but you know, I can't do toxic. I can't do toxic because I only got one life. So
Yeah. And time is the only commodity that we are given that you cannot make more of. You can't replenish it once it's gone. You can't take it
Exactly.
back. So,
Exactly.
there's this situation there. My husband is a lot like you in that respect, Charity. Like, people look at him now and they go, what do you mean you stood next to him at a pool hall for 2 hours before he said hi to you? Like, stood next to for 2 hours. Yes, that's how shy my husband was when we met. And he just like really was like internalizing so much that he was so afraid to put himself out there. And
Right.
now, like, the life of the party, and he's like, he invites people over before he even talks to me. Oh yeah, so and so's coming over for dinner. Okay. Shifting gears, we're in party mode now. It's awesome. It's great.
Awesome.
I love it so much. And he would agree that putting himself out there and forcing himself to be more outgoing was probably one of the greatest challenges, but greatest joys of his life.
That's awesome. I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
So beautiful, which has allowed me to sort of step back a little bit and kind of go inward, which I've never been able to do in my life. So
yeah, that's awesome.
We're sort of in role reversal, which is great, which is really great.
So but do you find that you balance each other out then now? Are you feeling like you're in a groove?
We've always been that way. And it's like when we met, we've always known each other. Like I knew that he was going to be my husband the first day I met him. I knew that we were going to get married. Aww. Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, or 2 months later, we were engaged, and 6 months after that, we were married. We feel like we've always been together. We work at it. Like, we do work really, really hard at learning to communicate, because we speak different languages, right? Everybody does. Like, you have to learn the other person's language. It doesn't matter who you're in relationship with, whether it's a family member or a friend or a partner. You have to learn their communication style. But
absolutely.
Yeah, he would say that we are a perfect match. We really balance each other. When he ebbs, I flow. It's this, like, we just, we do this dance that really works well, but also we've had to work at that. So I would say that even though, we've had our kids ask us, we've had lots of people ask us, what makes your marriage so like ideal and great? Like, we want what you guys have. And I will tell everybody that there were a few things that we committed to right out of the gate. The first thing is, we'll never use the word divorce, even in play fight. Like, in play arguments, we will never use the word divorce. We are committed to a long-term relationship, not a marriage. We want to work at a relationship. And so, and we will always learn to communicate in each other's language. Like, we will always learn to listen and be willing to be checked. Because I can think that I'm in the right, but if I'm not willing to be checked, because I wasn't loving, even though I'm right, I'm not always loving, right? And same with him, even though he's right, I'm not loving. And so it's in the loving. Like, when you speak in a loving way, it doesn't matter how harsh the actual words are. If you're loving, people will hear it. If you're not loving, their ears are turned off and they're done. So if you really want to have a long, like,
true statement.
You think back on some of the things that you've said to people or they've said to you, and you're just like, man, I would have been willing to listen to that 10 years ago and like correct that in myself if you would have talked to me differently, right?
Right. Or 10 years ago, I could have harbored that for a few weeks, like.
Yeah, totally true. So yeah, I mean, I would say that, and that goes for everything, right? Like, if you want to be connected to people, like, you can know lots and lots of people. Like, I know lots and lots of people, but the people who really know me, that I spend time with, connecting with, those are the investments that I make. I like to think about relationship in terms of financial investments, right? So, like, if you're playing the long game, like, how many deposits did you make before you made withdrawals?
Right.
Yeah. How much time do you
Exactly.
pour into that person before you ask for something back?
Right.
Are you a
Exactly.
taker, or are you always the giver, or is there a balance?
Right. I like it. Yeah. You got to pour into people.
Yeah.
You
Well,
really do got to pour into people because that's what makes a good relationship. I mean, that's how you get strength. That's how you
yeah,
build that strength of a relationship is by pouring into them so that they know that you got their back. You know,
absolutely.
trust is
Absolutely.
hard.
And healing is in the connection, right? So,
Yes.
like all of our
Yes.
past wounds from whatever it is we're carrying around, healing is in the connection. So, when we connect with another human being, whether it's your partner, your kids, your friends, your coworkers, you have this, it's almost like someone sewed up another little hole or sewed up another little wound when they poured their love into you.
Yes.
And
Like made it better. You patched
yeah,
that up for them.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
absolutely.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
So, what's the most important thing that you believe you need to still learn in order to live your most radiant life?
Ooh, still learn. I'd go with vulnerability.
Mm,
I know you and I have already talked about this once before. I have a really hard time with being the vulnerable one in public. Now, intimately with like my family, my really super close friends, I'm good at showing vulnerability. I'm my brother and my sister-in-law would tell you that if they told me something and I didn't cry, they'd probably want to check to make sure I'm okay because I'm just an emotional person that cries about everything. But when it comes to being vulnerable to someone I don't know or publicly, I struggle with that a lot. And I feel like if I could get a grasp on just accepting that it's okay to be vulnerable, that would kind of fill my circle. That would kind of, bring me to a place where I feel like, I'm living that radiant life fully.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Vulnerability is really hard. I'm getting all warm over here. I'm so
Well, I'm going to give you a measurement tool. Okay, ready for this?
okay. Yes.
So, not everybody has earned the right to hear your story.
Ooh, that's good.
Not
So is that
everybody.
why you feel that discomfort
Yeah,
in okay,
yeah.
I like it.
So
Yeah.
that discomfort should be your measurement tool. Have these people earned the right to hear my story? And then if they have, then you say, this is where I'm going to stretch myself. This is outside of my comfort zone. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stretch myself in this moment and I'm going to share.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good tip. That's a good tip.
There's lots of parts of our stories that we're really comfortable with. Like there's always this moment for me when I share my story with people because I have I have normalized my trauma in my own mind in order to learn to live with it in certain ways. Now that doesn't mean
Mhm.
that I've just like gotten over it because I haven't. And it doesn't mean that I've made it okay in my mind, but I'm so used to telling my story that I've disassociated from some of it enough through my work that it's not as difficult for me to tell the story, right?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. So then there's these moments where I share my story and the look on people's face just changes. Like, yes, just like that. Like, holy shit, I can't believe it. Oh my God, I don't know what to say.
Did she just say
Right.
that? How do I respond?
They're like, do I empathize? Do I sympathize? Do I apologize? I don't know which eyes to do. And then I have to remember that my childhood wasn't normal. Like my upbringing wasn't normal and oftentimes can be really uncomfortable and shocking for people.
Mhm.
And so then I go, oh, okay, well, they get to sit with that. I don't have to sit with that. It's my story. I shared it.
Yeah,
They get to
absolutely.
decide what to do with it. Right.
Right.
So, and
So
that's when
true.
people find out whether or not my too muchness is what they want in their lives.
Oh, So
And
good.
so
So
not too
good.
long ago, she was like, listen, Steph, when I first met you, I was like, I walked away from that conversation and was like, wow, she's a lot. She's a lot. And then I had to ask myself, do I want that in my life? And I was like, fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You definitely do.
I was like, well, I'm grateful because I like you. Like, we can do this. But I think that I have to own that, right? Like,
You do.
I'm not going to be
Yeah,
everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. And I've been
that's
through a
right.
lot, and my story is a
Mhm.
lot to swallow. It's a lot for me to swallow, and I live with it, you know?
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's that reminder that vulnerability is also earned, right? So, like, when
So
you're
true.
sharing your stuff on social media, when you're out there posting on social media and you're working at the vulnerable layers of how you're sharing, think of it in layers. You know, share one section of your story in layers to the people and the audience that have earned the right?
Oh, that's so true. You're right, because not everyone has earned the right, honestly, because some of that stuff is deep.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep. And I feel like you get in that like mentality of, well, if I share, who's gonna judge me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna
Yeah.
say, oh, well, I'm gonna, and I don't want to use social media as my example, but I'm going to, because I mean, let's face it, that's where people put their public life. I mean, really.
Yeah.
But even just in real life, who's gonna unfollow me? Who's gonna stop calling me? Who's gonna
Yeah.
stop inviting me to their shindigs because now they know who I am? And so I think that's the acceptance piece that, you know,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
I hit 40 and
Who's
I
gonna send
realize
me
that it's okay, but
Yeah. Or who's gonna send me a message that's gonna, like basically tear me down for what I just
yes,
shared. Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
Who's gonna feel
Because
like
I've
their
gotten those.
opinion is very important today?
Yeah. Yep. I can
But
totally relate.
yeah, yeah. So you guard. You
You
guard.
do. You do. And that's all that fear of judgment, right? Releasing that fear of
Yeah.
judgment, handling that fear of judgment, showing up, working the steps. And I hate to use this term or this phrase because I really don't agree with feeling the fear and doing it anyway. But there is a level of being honest with yourself around your fears and challenging those fears through action.
Ooh, that's good. That's very true. Very true. Very
Yeah.
true.
And I
I like that.
realize that it's come down to a coined phrase to feel the fear and do it anyway. But that's not always, fear should be a measurement, right? We should allow it to be our measurement. Like, is this really safe? Is this really
Right.
safe for me? And if it's
Right.
not safe in this environment, what environment would it be safe in?
Right. Exactly. That's a great point. It's a great point.
I think, we are in this and being a coach, I am entrenched in this probably far more than the average person. But this movement of gung-ho-ness, for just throwing all of our shit out there. And I don't think
Yeah.
that that's really as authentic as it's made out to be. I just
Right.
don't,
Yeah, I
I
agree
think,
with you.
yeah, I mean, think about like who in your life can you think of right now in this moment that if you told everything to, you you would be sure of how they would show up for you.
I have probably two people in my life,
Yeah.
probably my sister-in-law, actually maybe three, my sister-in-law, my brother, and another sister-in-law. Probably, I feel like I'd be
Okay.
okay. But going past that, and obviously my husband already knows pretty much everything. So I can't count him
Yeah.
because he's
I
still
know.
here and he already knows. So
I get that.
and I probably shouldn't tell my brother because he probably knows everything already too. But yeah, the circle's pretty small.
Yeah.
The circle's pretty small. And I even with the two sister-in-laws, sometimes I still feel guarded,
Yep.
like, should I? Am I gonna be okay if I do?
Yep. Yeah, I
But
get it. And you can imagine living this close for the last 20 years,
yeah,
the challenges with boundaries. And every time I've
absolutely.
had to speak up and put my foot down when it comes to boundaries, there's a lot of pushback and there's a lot of
Hmm.
like, that's not, that's, well, you must not want us around, or, like there's been a lot of pushback in that. And we've had to work really hard at communicating that, like, it's a-okay for me to say this doesn't work for me right now. Like I'm not
Right.
mad at you. I'm just telling you, like, this is a boundary for me. And it's okay for you to say this is a boundary for you. Like, I'm not gonna, like, that might make you uncomfortable to say that to me, but I'm not gonna be mad at you for it. Because I'd rather have that relationship. Like, I'd rather have that open, transparent relationship. And I think that
Yeah.
oftentimes transparency and vulnerability get intermeshed. And
Mm.
when that happens, we mistake some transparency for vulnerability and vulnerability for transparency.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you 100%. Definitely.
Because
Definitely.
I like to be transparent about who I am. Like, I like to
Hmm.
be that way. And if I'm not that way, then I need to deal in some vulnerability in order to be that way. But I
Right.
think there's this push for vulnerability and this push for being all the things, and all the self-growth stuff, that we lose sight of this right here, these
Hmm.
one-to-ones.
Yeah. And these are so important.
They're
Like,
crucial.
oh, so, so important, you know?
Yeah, they really
I always
are.
tell, I always tell my, I always say that I just love one-on-one time with my kids. Like, I just love going to dinner with one kid and just pouring into them and just being all about them for that one meal, that 1 hour, just giving
Things that
them
you
that that platform.
and the things that you learn about your kids and the things that
Yes.
deepen your relationship with them in those moments. You hear thoughts, like I was sharing a couple weeks ago how I really, when my kids got their driver's license, that was devastating for me. And not because I couldn't drive them anymore. That I was like, yes, please get your driver's license. I'm sick of sitting in the car for 6 hours a day. But it hit me when they both got in the car to go to football practice. And I started bawling when they drove away, because the best conversations that I've ever had with those boys was the to and fro from practice. The
Mhm.
car conversations, that one-on-one intimate time where they're sort of just stuck with me and we talk, and I learned so much about their lives and themselves and how they see the world, and they learn about me, and like that is the intimacy that I miss with my kids.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be hard. I mean, with Kobe, he's already has his driver's license, but yeah,
Right.
that's coming. That's coming over here. And I'm probably
Yeah.
going to have that. I'm probably
Yes.
going to have that same feeling. We don't do a lot of to and fro, but they like to grocery shop with me. That I like that. They ride with me to the grocery store, and for us it's like a 40-minute drive to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So that's an hour and 20 minutes that I get with just them to just chit chat. I love that. I love that.
I know those car conversations are just beautiful.
They are.
They
They are.
are. They really
They
are.
are. It's where I learned that my son is going to tell everybody that when I get older, the one thing he's going to remember about me most is that I can make a song up about anything. Oh man.
Okay, now I'm realizing how much like Josh you really are, because he does that, and so much so that the boys have started picking up for him before he starts singing.
That's awesome.
And I will
Oh
start thinking
man.
in my head before I say something. Like if I say, "Oh, I gotta pee," and then he'll come up with this, I'm just like, "What the heck?" Oh,
I
it's
love
so
it.
cute, Charity. I will
That's
say that
awesome.
it's one of the things that I absolutely adore about my husband. And so I can see how that just brings so much joy, because it brings joy to our home when he does it. So I can see how much joy that would bring to your family when you do that.
It's fun. It's fun. I love it.
Awesome. That's awesome. So, one last question. Are you
Okay.
ready for this one?
What do you got for me?
Okay. So, how do you integrate all parts of what being a woman means to you?
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a good one, Steph. That's good. That's good. So I would say that integrating all the parts of being a woman would be to staying in tune with me and my own needs. I feel like just knowing that when I can give or when I need to step back, take the time before I give. I will use Leland's recent hospitalization as an example, because I mean, that's scary. We went in, he had a surgery, but I was good. And beforehand, I made sure I packed healthy snacks. I packed a lot of food. I made sure we all had changes, that him and I both had good, clean changes of clothes. And then when we were at the hospital, I just was really in tune with how I was feeling. There's only 2 times where I got kind of choked up, but overall, it went really well. And I was just like, I took opportunities to take a little walk down the hall. When he was napping, if I needed a nap, I took a nap. There was a couple times where I did squats and some crunches and some lunges, and maybe took a couple extra walks down to the coffee machine, because it's a lot of sitting on your butt. But it was just staying in tune with that, like that feeling, because it's almost like you can feel like it kind of like, okay, I'm here. Like I just need to walk away. I need to just get back and check with myself. And so that's kind of how I integrate all those parts together, is just staying in tune with, okay, I'm a mom. And so this is where I need to go. I need to be a mom right now. And I work. I need to do this. I'm a wife. I need to check on my husband. I need to check on my other kids. And just really just finding that acceptable selfish, that selfish point.
Yes.
I know, bad word, but that selfish point, it really is. It's all about just, finding that point for me. And that's how I do it.
I think we can reclaim the word selfish in a positive way.
Okay, good. Okay, can we just do that? Because I have a hard time shifting to self-focus.
No, I love that though, but staying in tune with your soul, staying in tune with yourself, and saying,
yes,
what is right for me right now? What's the next
yes,
right thing for me right now?
yeah,
Yeah.
shifting to try to be a planner when you can.
Yep.
Focusing on the now when you have to, but just mentally staying in tune.
Yeah, that connection to self.
Yes, definitely connection to self.
That's a hard one. I mean, really, as a woman with so many things going on, that's a hard one. Like, at the end of it all the people that you show up for every day, you were here first before all of them.
Right. That's so true. So true.
And what's going to be left of you after they've moved on to the next thing in their life?
Exactly. I like how you put that, because I feel like that's kind of where I got in my late 30s, early 40s, is, like, I matter, I'm not just a mom.
Yes. Yeah. You were the
that.
Yeah. And owning that you were the conduit through which those people came to live on this planet.
Yeah. So true. Yeah, that's good.
That alone, you just being the conduit, that alone makes you beyond worthy.
Yeah. So true. It really does. We forget that, don't we?
So easily.
So easily. So easily. Yeah.
So easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me share it.
I have super, super duper enjoyed our time to reconnect and chit chat today.
Me too.
And thank you for sharing with this community all the wonderful things that you have, your perspective, your heart. And I'm grateful to have you in my life.
Oh, right back at you. I'm beyond humbled that you allowed me to be here today. Honestly, beyond humbled. So, and it's been awesome reconnecting with you. So, thank you. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being you, and thank you for bringing this to an awareness for all other women in this group, because we all need that. We need that support. We need that we need other women to support us. And yeah.
Firmly believe. I almost wore my crown today. I'll wear it next week. Because actually next week is my birthday, and I have this beautiful birthday crown, and it's so fun. So I make a super big deal out of my birthday, but I firmly believe that real queens don't tear each other down. They straighten each other's crowns.
Yes, absolutely. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. So important.
It is.
So if you're out there and you're listening to this, straighten someone's crown today. That's my message. Just anyone, even if it's a stranger in the store, tell her you like her shoes. Yes. You might just make her whole world.
A smile can travel the world.
Oh, it sure can. It sure can.
Well, my darling, thank you again for today, and everyone else who joined us in this conversation. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening in and taking the time to be with us today. If you want to kind of connect with Charity and find out more about Charity, feel free to reach out to her in this group. And one of the things that Charity didn't share is that she is also a Plexus ambassador, and she is very passionate about health and fitness, and she's passionate about it from a manageable lifestyle standpoint, not a weight loss standpoint. She's passionate about health and what real health means for each person that she serves. So that's something else that she does on the side, and she is such a loving and kind and giving and caring person. So if you are compelled to reach out to Charity, maybe she has some tips and some support for you if you're on a health journey, be sure to just reach out to her in the group or get in touch with me for more information. Thank you all for joining us today. So grateful for your time. So grateful for you, Charity. And I hope you have just a fantastic rest of your day.
You too, hon.
Bye.
Bye.